We're going to do a brainstorming session on how to move a laptop across a football field. We'll start out with a couple of assumptions. Standard laptop, right around 10 pounds. We'll assume we're working on an actual football field. So we'll be in one end zone. We can't cross the goal line. We've got to get it as far downfield as we can, preferably into the other end zone. But it has to be working. I'm going to assume that if it doesn't work after you throw it or move it or whatever, you're disqualified. Otherwise, it's the longest distance when it still works. Do we want to assume 1 try, 3 tries, or a certain number of hours?
I think ideally, I think we should aim for 1 try. But I'm betting we'll get more than one.
I think 1, maybe 2 or 3 tries, but even so, that's going to put some limits on it no matter what we do. Okay, well, who's got ideas for how to do this?
Let's get the crazy person's idea out of the way first. This popped into my head. What if we did something with a little bit of showmanship? I wonder if we could put the laptop. I'm assuming we can coat the laptop or put it.
We're going
to
have to put something around it. Yeah.
Protective membrane of some kind.
So what if we did it in the shape of a football and we had a pneumatic foot
and kicked it?
I don't think there's any way it would make the distance, but.
Well, yeah, take it. I mean, the problem there is the impact of the foot. So what you do is you make a foot-shaped throwing arm,
So
an upside-down catapult.
Upside down trebuchet.
Yeah, upside-down trebuchet. Yeah, a trebuchet would work.
Yep. That'll get you enough air and distance.
Right. My thought was to do something similar, only use a frisbee shape for the laptop and try to get it to hold up in the air some.
The other thing,
but I like the football idea.
Well, the frisbee shape would be nice because you could use a clay pigeon thrower, just make it bigger.
A giant one and put some spin on
that
it
way
so
it
it goes
puts some
along.
spin on
Yeah, that would work.
Frisbee, I think, has the best. If you can get it without, veering off and get it nice and balanced so it lands nicely, you're not going to break it.
That's my problem with all of the throwing things. First of all, aiming. Second of all, the impact, the energy you have to put into it to get it launched. I want to go outside to throw it.
I would suggest that we take a page from the Mars rovers.
Wrap the thing in inflatable bags?
Exactly. Roll it. Airbags.
That's great. I think there's 2 problems. I think, first of all, they're going to count the distance of the first time any part of the containment touches the ground. So you can't roll it. The other problem is something that big is going to have a ton of air resistance. I want to cheat. Nobody says we have to throw it. What if we built a 300-foot tall tower, laid it down, and had the laptop run across on a track?
Yeah.
But I like the idea.
A truss-style tower would be easy enough to construct.
Yeah, and you can make it telescoping. You basically walk in there with a 20-foot tower, stand it up, crank it up to 300, tip it down, and then there'd be a track on the top, and you run the laptop down.
I would be surprised if there was not a clause in the rules saying that it had to be launched.
I don't think anybody's... If there's a clause that it has to be launched, I don't think anybody's going to get it to the other end zone. At that point, I think we should figure out the furthest distance we can throw it without it breaking. But what if you launched it on a zip line? You fired a zip line to the other goalpost.
And sailed it down.
And sailed it down the zip line. Again, cheating. A lot of this is going to depend on the rules, so we're going to have to work off our own assumptions.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about football stadiums, it makes me think of those T-shirt air cannons. Maybe we could wrap it up in like some kind of cloth and get some pneumatic air cannon.
Yeah.
And then
it'd have to be a pretty big air cannon. You're talking
like a bow, and we could parachute it down.
10-inch diameter. Your biggest, and I'm back to my problem there, which is to get it from 0 to enough speed in 10 or 20 feet, which is what your air cannon is going to be, it'll break in the cannon tube.
But bear in mind, too, that a lot of modern laptops, at least, and we don't know what kind of laptops we're using, but they've got those inertial sensors that, like, in case you drop it,
shuts
it down. That may help us a little
drive,
bit.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to assume at least some of that. Laptops are built a little bit rugged to start with. It's not like they're going to be super fragile. But think about just throwing your laptop 10 feet and whether or not you think it would survive that. Much less getting it up to 200 or 300 miles an hour, which is what it's going to take to fly across a stadium. I think we got to go outside the box. I don't know, kites.
Could we give it? I was just going to say wings.
Wings and a motor. Fly the bloody thing like a radio-controlled airplane.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah, they've got those stadium blimps. Why not just take those, $10 inflatable sharks, tie them together as a school of sharks, and float them down?
I like that. Yeah, blimps or balloons, something that holds it up. Then we just have to be able to steer it.
Those sharks, you just tie the radio controls to all one frequency. Let them all swim together.
Well, I wouldn't do the sharks. They got that. They don't work well outdoors, but they got the blimps with the little propellers on the back.
Yeah.
That would work. and then we just have to have a release mechanism to drop it when we get there, or crash it.
We can make a hang glider. Suspend it down and put a couple bungee cords in it to keep it somewhat safe.
And use the goalpost as a launch.
I like
use
that.
the
Yeah,
goal
I
post.
like the
shot
idea of
launch.
using the goalpost.
Yeah.
And I would love to, if we're going to do that, I'd love to see a little bit of steering control, because you can never control that. But if you just have basic steering on a hang glider,
A bidirectional servo.
yeah, hobby servo and RC transmitter, you could just rubber band launch it,
Right.
and that would give you a nice gentle launch. You wouldn't be trashing the laptop. That works. I like that.
I like that too. That's a hang glider with the 2
Cool.
posts, even if you didn't have gold posts.
All right, that's it. We're going to do a hang glider, rubber band launch, and RC control.
Just a tricycle wheel to land her down.
No, I'm going to put a nose spike on it, so it's like lawn darts,
Lawn darts.
and we stick it.
Somebody stand on the other end and catch.
Yep. Volunteers?